It's a David Moyes free zone today. We are being unmoisturised, demoisturised, cleansed. Let's put it that way. Look, even I'm sick of talking about David Moyes. We will not be discussing him today. In fact, probably not even tomorrow until after the game. So it's been a crappy week for West Ham. It's all sort of negative, all sort of bad news, really, isn't it? So just want to sort of turn it around and do something a little bit more upbeat. There's been a lot of stories around West Ham. And I say around West Ham, all like the newspaper articles, different newspaper articles, website stuff, some players coming in, some players going out. But, you know, none of it overly negative stuff. So I thought we'd probably go with that. I also just wanted to say it's been so frenetic, all the West Ham stuff over the last few days. I've not had a chance to respond to loads of messages on there, and I just wanted to say there's a lot of people been asking about me dogs, as you may or may not know. The people are asking certainly know. I lost both my dogs. I had 2 dogs, lost them both, one in February, one in March. Terribly sad, horrible. I was absolutely devastated. So a lot of people saying, what's your situation there? Are you going to get another dog? Are you going to go and be doing the walk in the park videos again? I'll do an update on that later. I'll tell you what's going on, but it'll be at the end of the video. So anyone who wants West Ham stuff, you can listen to that now. And then anyone who wants to know any doggy business, not like that, and then stay tuned until the end of the video. Let's start with Maurizio Sarri, the former Chelsea manager. Well, I say former Chelsea manager, former Lazio manager as well, actually. Lazio, as I understand it, lost to Udinese, who were in the relegation zone of Serie A. It forced Sarri's resignation. It can't have just been that, though, can it? It would have been a combination of stuff, and maybe the fact that they're not contesting what they wanted to this season. I don't think he pulled up any trees, really, in Chelsea. He played that, I think, that Sarri ball, which, I don't know, man. It's just when they coin a name, some of them have got a ring to them. I think Moyes ball sounds excellent. Actually, when you watch it, it's terrible to watch. But the sound of it, the name, Moyes ball, it sounds punchy. It sounds good, right? Sarri ball, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. I don't like it. Anyway, it's not a case of me not liking the sound of it. I think the Chelsea fans, to a large extent, didn't like it either. I'm not so sure. The link is funny. It's been driven mostly by the Italian press, who are suggesting that Sarri has been offered the West Ham job. Let me just say now, I don't believe he has been offered it. Well, I guess time will tell, won't it? But apparently he's got the pick of the jobs, either West Ham or Newcastle. Now, you put 2 and 2 together and you get 4 on that one, which is, if what they're suggesting is true, means David Moyes, not only is David Moyes on his way out, I said we were mentioning him, but Eddie Howe is also on shaky, rocky ground. So, they can't be the same, shaky and rocky ground. They're not the same. Whatever, he's on shaky ground, let's put it that way. I can't imagine that that's the case. I wouldn't imagine that Newcastle are now deciding they're definitely going to get rid of Eddie Howe. And who's to say Sarri would do better than anyway, we don't know. What is really interesting with this rumour is not only is Sarri supposedly been offered the job at West Ham, but if he comes to West Ham, he wants to make sure he brings Matteo Guendouzi with him. Now, you remember him. He used to play for Arsenal. I think he's a really good player, actually. I think he's a sort of all-round, energetic player that would probably do quite well in West Ham's midfield. I wouldn't be sorry to get him at all. But the whole story doesn't fit with what we're doing. And what I mean by that is, if David Moyes, I did it again. If the current manager does go, then it'd be Tim Steidten looking to bring in, as I understood it, a younger manager. And then Tim Steidten to overlook the recruitment of players. This is the whole point, isn't it? To think that we would get an older manager in, and then what would happen is he would bring in a sort of already established star. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be what I'm not sure. It doesn't fit. The story doesn't fit what we heard about West Ham anyway. Let's just move on to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, of course, he's been linked with everybody. We know he's leaving at the end of the season. Well, unless something drastic happens. Ben Johnson's been linked to Aston Villa. I don't know. I find it strange. I can't see that one. When he was linked with a few other clubs like Crystal Palace, I sort of got it. But also linked with Southampton. And apparently, Flynn Downs going to play some role in facilitating that deal. Now, let's be fair. You also don't know what's going to happen with Flynn Downs. A lot of that is predicated upon Southampton get promoted, which may or may not happen. I think the other thing is, should the person that's currently in the managerial role at West Ham not be here, then it may well be that somebody comes in and fancies Flynn Downs and wants to bring him back into the bosom of the club. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. I just thought that was a relatively interesting story. We've got some juicy stories coming up, actually. I'm not trying to save them till last. I'm literally working off a list here, by the way. let's get that. We'll save the Kudus and the Paqueta one for just a second. Leif Davis, Ipswich Town, linked with him again, makes absolute sense here. Set piece specialist, left back. He's quite versatile as well. Can play in a number of positions. Having a really, really good season. Everybody's saying this is a good move for West Ham. It's a good move for West Ham. Whether it's a good move for Leif Davis is yet to be seen. But I think this is he's a really good player. It's hard to know. There's either serious interest in this player or it's the same regurgitated story time after time. But I'm not so sure. I think this one certainly makes a lot of sense for West Ham. Anyway, yeah, sort of watch this space. Right, let's deal with Mohammed Kudus to Liverpool, and more importantly, a really bit of strong messaging from West Ham about Lucas Paqueta. But before I do, this video is sponsored by Match Bingo. I've got to tell you about the Match Bingo. I won last week. I won on the Fulham game. I didn't just win one line. I won 2 lines. I won 50 quid. I'm chuffed. Honestly, we've been doing this Match Bingo now for a couple of months. We've seen a lot of you guys win and win good money as well. We've had between 30 and 40 messages from people saying they've won on Match Bingo. I'd go as far as to say almost every live show you watch, somebody will be saying, oh, I won on Match Bingo, I won on Match Bingo. In fact, if you have won, leave your comments below in the description and let other people know that you've won. It's been absolutely magnificent. What is Match Bingo? What am I going on about? Basically, they've combined bingo and they've combined football. Well, actually, there's also darts and cricket on there as well. But anyway, we'll go with the bingo and the football. What happens is you get a card, and on that card there are 15 events which have to happen: throw-in, goal kick, shot on goal. Every time one of the events happen, it's like bingo. One of the things gets crossed off. There's 3 lines of 5, 15. You've got to get a row, you win some money. 2 rows, you win more money. Get a full house, you win loads of money. It's as simple as that. Here's the best thing for this game week. This week, the free-to-play game. The free-to-play game is the West Ham game. Is Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Normally it's £2 a play. This one is free. Now it's 18 years and above. So, mate, you've got to gamble responsibly and all that sort of thing. We must say that. But download the app using the link in the description below. Sign up, play that. That's a free game. Also, every week, if you're going to do this, there's always free games every week. Bingos. Bingos. It's as it sounds. Bing, goals. Like bingo and goals. That's a free game as well. All the other games are £2 per play. Some of the prize pots are pretty big. There's one of the games this week. The prize pot is £1,075. People are winning this stuff. Go and check it out. Links in the description below. If you don't like it, you can just uninstall the app. Anyway, there you go. Match bingo. Right, do you know what? We'll leave Kudus to last. Let's deal with Lucas Paqueta. Really interesting. Club have come out fighting on this. They really have. There'd been these suggestions during the week that Manchester City were going to bid low. West Ham were going to bid lower than the release clause. Now, the release clause for Lucas Paqueta is somewhere between 80 and 85 million pounds. The club don't want to broadcast this and publicise it. Obviously, it's advantageous for them, for even if it is 80 million, for people to think it's 85. If anyone bids for Lucas Paqueta, the release clause is activated and we have to accept it. That's that. However, 2 things that the club are really, really, really keen to get out there. And I guess this is messaging to go back to Manchester City and messaging to be out there for Manchester United or anyone else that might be interested in signing the player. If you do not match the release clause, he will not be going. West Ham do not need to sell players at all. And here's the important thing. This release clause is only for 1 window. It's only for the summer window. And I don't even think it's for all of that window. I think it might even just be, and this is me, this bit is just me putting my opinion on it. I think it might just be for July and August. Honestly, I'm not sure it takes you right up to the very end of the window even. So I think there's almost a very small period when it can be done, basically. Now, that is really interesting. And I think that's so because, as has been leaked today, and we knew this to be the case anyway, no club will bid or can bid while there is an FA investigation ongoing. The FA investigation is not even remotely close to being closed yet. So if what Man City need to do, if they want to buy him, they have to bid the full amount. They have to bid for it, basically bid for him in July, and they have to hope that the FA have concluded their investigation by July and found him innocent. Oh, that's a lot of ifs. That is a lot of ifs. But the club are quite clear. They do not want to sell. They do not need to sell. There's still money coming in. They took the Declan Rice money in 3 payments. There's still money coming in. As Kieran Maguire said about West Ham are cash rich. There you go. Make of that what you will. But I think that's pretty robust news. Basically, pay up or shut up. Basically, you pay or he stays. It's as simple as that, really. On Mohammed Kudus to Liverpool, he's not for sale. As far as we understand it, there is no release clause for him. West Ham do not want to sell. He's not for sale. As we understand it, there was a lot of talk about Bowen having a release clause inserted in his contract, but as we understand, there is nothing there. Not had any new news on that, but I just remember the story from when he signed his new deal. Everyone was asking, is there a release clause? Is there a release clause? In the end, they said, no, there's not one, because there was a lot of hullabaloo about that, wasn't there? So I think overall, probably good news for West Ham on that front. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, just imagine. We would have a really good team. It's hard enough with the rebuild of the players going as it is, but if we could keep Bowen, Kudus, Antonio, Paqueta, Emerson, there are some really, really good players there. Alvarez, obviously. You get to a point where you only add to that, bring in another striker, another left winger, maybe another midfielder. Obviously, centre-backs need doing, and I think the full-back, like Leif Davis, I think you're just looking at, this ain't looking bad at all, mind you. Might well be that we need both right-backs going, so we might need to do something there as well. There you go. That's that. That's your West Ham news. All done now. My dog, let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about the dog. So, lost the dogs. Very, very sad. Devastated. The whole family devastated. Kids were devastated. Honestly, anyone knows that you lose a dog, it is like a family member. It's like my daughter said she'd never, ever watched a film without a dog sitting on her lap sort of thing and stuff like that, honestly. So it's been quite devastating for the family. And when it first happened, you think, I'm not going to get another dog. Anyway, we decided we are. So there you go. So we've gone on the list. We found a breeder. We met the mum and the dad dog, basically. When I did that, we're going for Labradoodles again, because I love dogs. I love all animals. I'm allergic to dogs, though. Allergic to dog hair. So very close to getting a boxer. I had boxers before, and I love boxers, but I'm going to go with this again because it's just a little bit easier on the nostrils, so to speak. So yeah, we're looking to get a Labrador. It's not the little one, the big. We're looking to get a big old wolf-size Labradoodle. There you go. So when that happens, then absolutely we will be doing the walk in the park videos again. We're doing all that stuff, and you'll get to see a cute little puppy and all the rest of it. We did actually try and get. We nearly got on. It was sort of a rescue one, which we nearly got, but we had to go on a list for it, and we were second for that. And then someone, it was a Labradoodle as well. It was a puppy that someone had, and they couldn't handle it, and we almost got it. But we were second on the list for that. But they deemed the family that was going to get that Labradoodle was the best one. The dog was a bit nervous and stuff like that, which is totally understandable. It's gone to a good home, and that's good. So now we are waiting. So we are looking at maybe. October or November, something like that. So it's a long way, but there you go. And I do thank you for anybody that showed an interest. It was really, really nice, and I loved all your comments. And I'm sorry I couldn't reply to all of them, but lovely comments on there. They were genuinely appreciated. So thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow morning talking about Crystal Palace West Ham.